in 2 seconds, Stephen. Hi, welcome everyone. I know why you are here. You want to know how AI and trading can possibly make you some income. Is it as simple as copy, pasting, and profiting? Guess what? It really is. I didn't think so, but it really is. So before we get started, let me tell you who I am. My name is Andrea Jones, and I have had over 20 years of experience in business. I've worked for global ad agencies from New York to LA. I've worked with small companies as well, and I've also been a performer. I've been a struggling artist, and I know some of you know what that means. But during that time, I've always been concerned about wealth. How do you stretch a dollar? How do you make more money? And particularly in the acting phase, how do you make more money? And in my journey, I started learning a little bit about cryptocurrency. Anybody heard about cryptocurrency? Uh, Bitcoin, Ethereum. And so I bought some, I lost some, I made some, and I actually became friends with an Uber driver who became a multimillionaire. So I knew you could make a lot of money with cryptocurrency, but really I didn't. And then I thought about trading, day traders. I know I have some good friends who are stockbrokers, traders, and they made a lot of money as well in 2 minutes. And so, but I couldn't. I don't know why I couldn't. I didn't have enough time to learn it. And so I couldn't make that money either. And then recently, anybody heard about AI, artificial intelligence? I started learning a little bit about AI. I was a little afraid of it, like how do you use it? What do you do with it? And then an employer actually asked me to look into it so that he could possibly look how to become much more efficient with his employees, which meant one of my coworkers might get axed. And I had learned enough about AI to know that you could replace an entire business. And so that means that could be me, or could have been me, right? So I have this varied background, very blended, and I had been a part of different things where I had been scammed and lost a lot of money as well and made money. So by the time I found out about this particular system, which was a blend of all those worlds, I was hopeful. I'm always hopeful. I'm always going to believe. But I'm actually very cynical as well, just to make sure that I'm spending my money properly. So when my friend came to me and told me about this, I was like, let me take a look at it. Let me ask all the questions. I always ask a lot of questions. People hate that I ask so many questions, actually. And so I started listening and I thought, you know what? I know there's trillions of dollars. I know that people can make money from trading and AI, and I know that you can do it. So then I decided, let me give it a spin. So without further ado, you know my background and why I'm here. And so hopefully when you review the information, maybe you will join me as well. I'm not sure, but we'll see. So here we go. The company that we're talking about is BG Wealth Sharing Group, and I am a member. I am not a financial advisor. And just a little housekeeping disclaimer I'm going to read. This presentation is not financial advice, enticement, or a guarantee of results. Results in the BG investment project are based on your efforts, determination, and focus, and following the instructions and guidance of Professor Stephen Beard for the trading signals. BG is a Web3 trading project on DSJ Exchange that requires crypto to participate. And today's presentation is not an investment advice. It's not an offer. It's not a solicitation for the purchase or sale of investments. And past performance is not indicative of future results. And the cryptocurrency market is highly volatile and involves a high amount of risk, in which you may lose some or all of your investment funds. And you should not invest with funds that you cannot afford to lose. Okay, so we got that out of the way. Let me tell you a little bit about the owner who developed this system, Professor Stephen Beard. He started BG Wealth Sharing Group in 2018, and he has incredible finance background. He has a master's and PhD in finance. He also worked for Gemini, and some of you may know Gemini. It is a US-based company that deals with cryptocurrency, selling it, buying it, and everything. And also, he had trading experience plus his academic experience. And then he ended up partnering with another, uh, with an exchange. The exchange he partnered with was DSJ Exchange, which is an Australian exchange. So if you know a little bit about trading, you can have a brokerage or you have to use an exchange. And they together created a 10-year agreement for this particular project. So what you see on the screen is the contract. So DSJ Exchange is compliant and legal. I've been a part of other things that there are other exchanges that are there, but they don't necessarily have all the licenses and certifications. And so DSJ has a myriad of registrations across the globe, including the Australian SEC, the US SEC license, as well as licenses through Singapore and the Bahamas, and a list of others, as you see on the screen. So I thought, okay, we're getting better here. So our mission and vision basically is to earn long-term growth, long-term AI-powered daily trading and team building to promote income, right? Income growth. That's why we're all here, right? So having stable income through trading signals will help all of us to thrive. One of the things I learned about this company is Professor Beard really promotes a community of growth and learning how, not learning how to trade, but to follow the guidelines. And if you follow the guidelines, then we all get to win. And I love a collaborative environment. So I knew that, okay, we have all of these things going for us. BG has an incredible vision. He also has the vision of eradicating poverty. Maybe he can't eradicate all poverty, but to help people get out of financial poverty. I think you would agree that what's going on in the world is pretty challenging right now. I'm here in the US and there's a lot going on. The price of eggs, $10. I know when I go to purchase something, I'm thinking to myself, hey, I just went into the grocery store for $10 for something that purchased for $10 and I came out a $200 bill. So we all could use a little wealth. So the advantages. One of the reasons why I decided to move forward with this, in spite of my history, some good and some bad, is because of the history of the group. Previously, Professor Beard had a system for trading signals, but it didn't have AI. And then he changed over to AI, and his ROI, his winning rate, went from pre-AI in the 60% and then moved up to 99.6% because of AI, which is more efficient. One of the other reasons why, again, that I chose it is because it was compliant. You saw those registrations on the screen quickly. It was compliant, had a lot of the legalities taken care of that those other platforms that I had used in the past did not have. And then he has a guaranteed fund safety protection. He actually guarantees 30 million pounds, which is about US 40 million US dollars for those for your funds. So as long as you're compliant and you're following the rules and you're copying and pasting, you're really in a great win-win situation. And then, as I said before, he has a 10-year agreement with DSJ Exchange. So we're in like about year 4 right now. And so I have like, we have a long-term agreement. So this is a great place that I could possibly put my funds. And so when you have stability and opportunity, I mean, it's a perfect blend of what I was looking for, but I could never find in the past. So how do you do this? Is it really that simple? Can you just copy and paste? What can be easier? Because anybody in here has ever copy and pasted? Do you use an app? Can you give me some emojis if you ever used an app before in your life? Do you copy and paste on Microsoft? Do you copy and paste? If you have, then you know exactly what to do. So how it works, how we trade with DSJX. So let's say, how do we complete our trades? Say if you were to deposit $500. We at at BG, we're not using dollars per se. You have to then trade exchange your currency from fiat, which is in the US, that's dollars. If I was in Mexico, it would be pesos. So you would exchange it for cryptocurrency when you deposit into your account, which you have full control over. And so let's say if you were to take $500, convert it into USDT, which is a type of cryptocurrency, it's a stable coin. So it's basically a dollar to dollar exchange rate. So it's very stable in terms of tokens. You would first deposit, let's say $500, which is what I did. We, each member, get two codes per day guaranteed. And you can actually, you'll find out later that you can get more codes than that. But everybody starting out gets two codes per day. And they only risk 1% of your deposit amount. So if you put in 500, they're only risking 1% of that. And the beautiful thing about it is a compounded interest. We earn approximately anywhere between 1.25 and 1.3% per day compounded. And if you know anything about compounded interest, it's an amazing thing. Think about your credit cards. If you put only $20 on a $100 bill, by the time you can continue to pay off your credit cards, how much have you really paid off, right? You've spent the original credit card bill was 500, but you probably end up spending 1,500. But in this situation, in this system, we actually, it comes into our favor for the compounded interest. So we win about 60 to 65% of the time in terms of our ROI. The trades rate is 99.6% of the time. And so we have a win-win situation. And I'll show you later how it actually works with an actual compound calculator. So how do we follow the trading signals? Step one, we have a portal, which I'm also going to show you live. It's called Bond Chat. We communicate with all of the members. We have 500,000 members across the globe, which is amazing. And so we all talk in this chat. Hey, good morning. Oh my God, I just made $2. I made $200. I love BG. It's so exciting to be in this portal. I can't even begin to tell you. And so what happens is Professor Beard, when the trading signal begins, which again is 1:30 and 7:30 Eastern Standard Time for those two fixed signals, he'll ask us if we're ready. He actually gives us a little speech that is about the BG philosophy. It promotes growth and team building, which is amazing. And then he drops the actual picture of the trade, and then he drops the code. And so it's on a server, and 500 different thousand people will receive the code at a staggered time. So then you see the code, it pops up on your screen, you copy, and then you go to your own exchange. It's on a computer. If you have a computer or your laptop, you just copy and paste it. You would paste it as you see on the screen. Please enter the code. And then you would put the code in there. You would hit confirm. And then you would go to pending. And excuse me, you would go to position order, and then you would go to pending. And then you would wait about 20 minutes to see whether we won or we lost the trade. So it's as easy as that. And I'm going to show you how that works. So what happens if the trading signal fails? So I told you that we win so far about 99.6% of the time. It went pre-AI in the 60%, and then we went up to 99.6% of the time. And so, but what if it fails? The last time it fails was actually on my birthday, so I'll never forget that, December 9th. And what happens is Stephen Beard, Professor Beard, he drops another code, a replacement code. And so all of that is communicated with inside of Bond Chat. And so if you were to win 1%, if you had not failed, we basically almost get a 3% if it fails on the second phase. So there's 5 phases of recovery, and you see them on the screen. So the first time, okay, the typical trade, and then if it does fail, he sends another code, and then if that failed, he would move to phase 3, phase 4, and then phase 5. I've never been around when it actually has failed to phase 5. It's only for me twice, and it was at phase 2, and it was just another code, and I went about my day, easy peasy. So I'm going to actually show you a, a team member's account who's been in for quite a while. I started in July of 2025. And this person on December 9th, you can see right here, lost $792. And I told you they always trade 1% of their account. So what she had in her account at that point was $79,000, give or take. And when he replaced the code, she ended up making $1,453. So even when we lose, we win, which is quite amazing. And what you see on the chart on the screen right now is a lot of trading information, which you would find more about. Like when AI, we are trading, excuse me, go back to that. We're trading BTC and USDT, which is Bitcoin, and USDT, which is a stable coin. This is showing the direction in which they're expecting the trade to go. Whether it's up or down, you don't have to know all the technicals of that, but that's what it's telling you. This is the time period the trade happened, the amount, the position, the open price. For the traders out there, you'll know what I'm talking about. And actually, this person who's a team member, she's actually a trader. She's a trader who teaches trading, and she makes a pretty penny. But when she saw this opportunity, she knew it was a no-brainer. And so when I actually listened to her when I went to various presentations, I thought, wow, this is a woman who's been trading for a while. She's not like me who didn't know what she was doing. She makes a living trading, and yet she's doing this, which is even simpler. So I told you we get two codes, 1:30, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, approximately give or take a few minutes. But what if you could make three codes? Now, those two codes are approximately 1.25 to 1.3 per day. Well, it gets even better with the third code. Oh my goodness. So what I'm going to show you later on is the compound calculator. In this screen, it says we make a 1.3 daily return. But with compound interest, it's absolutely phenomenal what we actually can earn. So the power of the third permanent signal, all these things are signals, trading signals that we make that are sent every single day. So you get daily income. With a third signal, your daily return goes up to 1.8, all the way up to 2%. So most people are really excited when you see that compound calculator, what that could actually do for your life. So an investment of 500, and you'll see this when I show the calculator, $500, if you were to copy and paste every single day, you'd probably make at 1.25 around $46,000. That's pretty amazing. Most people can't do that unless they are a trader or they've done really well in their careers. And so we know that with the two signals per day, two codes per day, your money almost doubles within 60 days. That's amazing. So every 60 days, your money doubles with two codes. Guess what? With a third code, it triples every 60 days. So when I heard that, I'm like, okay, I've got to go after that third signal. But in order to get that third signal, you have to develop a team. So in this particular screen, let's pretend I am the team manager. And I should say in this, when I first joined, I was just going to copy and paste. That's all I was going to do. But I did share it with my friend and I said, I'm really excited about this. She said, don't come to me. I don't want to hear about it. And I said, come on, look at it. Just evaluate it with me. It sounds really great. And then she saw it and she's like, wait a minute. I want to invest in this. And I said, well, you have to share the opportunity and then you can join. And I haven't even joined. And she said, you know what? Here's $500. You do it, then I'm going to jump in after you. And the only reason why she gave me the $500 is because I said, look, I'm not spending any money right now. It sounds amazing, but I'm not doing it. I just had this huge auto bill. I spent a ton of money and I didn't want to spend another dollar. But then my friend decided to sponsor me, so I invested the $500 and then I got in. So because she wanted to get in and she wanted to sponsor me, I now had one person on my team. I didn't even try to get a person on my team. She wanted to be my first person on my team. So now I'm a team manager. And so when you go after the third signal, which my team is now doing, In this particular example, I'm the team manager. So that means that I had to deposit at least $500 or above, and you can deposit as much as you like after in the beginning. And then you have to have five other people who also start at $500 or above, and each one of those people have to have five directs underneath them. So together, it's a team of 30 people. So in tier one, where I am the team manager, there's five members. My five members have five members, and together that's 25. 25 plus five is 30. So it's 30 people that have to join together so that I can get my third signal, and then they would duplicate and do the same thing. So I thought to myself, I've shared things before, it didn't work. No one wants to duplicate this. But in this instance, how easy was that? Because I knew that I knew five people off the top of my head that would could use a few extra dollars, let alone if they never even shared it, which you do not have to do. So I thought this is a no-brainer. By accident, I had one person on my team already. So I'm like, okay, I can share this with other people and I can expand my team and then I can go after that third signal. So when I started sharing, several people got really excited. And I have to say a shout out to my team. I've lived all over the country and I'm originally from the Connecticut area. I live in New York now, and my New York team, they're going crazy and they're expanding exponentially. I have a team right now who's in the Dominican Republic. I have a Chicago team. I have a South team right now. I have someone in Brazil. And so everyone saw the potential and they're super excited. So when you do share, every time you share, you get a reward. The person who deposited their funds and the inviter. So in the instance of $500, they would receive an instant 25. And when I say $25, I mean USDT. Again, it is a stable cryptocurrency coin. And then I would also receive 25 USDT as well, just dropped into my account. Is absolutely amazing. What can you do in which today I drop in $500 with my cryptocurrency, right? And then the company rewarded me with an additional $25, which I gladly moved over to my trading account. So you can look at the screen and you can see the different values in which you can come in at. You can do anything from 500 to 10,000, and you can get special permission if you want to invest more. So it's exciting. You don't have to build a team. That's only if you're going after the third signal or if you want to partake in the other rewards that the group provides to its members. I am simply a member. Or initially, as I said, all I wanted to do is copy and paste and sit there and then look at my ROI just go up, go up, go up, go up. And then I start building a team. So, as I stated in the previous screen, where I was the team manager, right? And so, if I got five people, I already had one with my friend, then I would go to level one. And you can see the incredible numbers here. So, for instance, if when I became level one, they gave me $100 in USDT reward one time, and then every 30 days, I got $30. You know what? I've tried a lot of different things and I barely made any additional money. It was so exciting just to get my $30. And so when I have a level one person that's under me, I'm so excited. They're excited. And you will see why we love BG. So when you go up level one through level seven, at the time that I joined in July 2026, level seven sounded so, excuse me, in 2025, level seven sounded like way far away. And I actually met through chatting with her, a woman who is famous in our particular group, Ann Jackson. I wanted to learn everything about BG, so I started helping my inviter do team huddles. I still started helping with the Zooms. And then Miss Jackson would come onto the calls and we would ask her all these questions about, hey, what was it like when you first came in? And she would explain like how hard or how easy it was. She would say, I was before AI. She would tell me all of her history. And then she became level seven and she got a car. She made $10,000 every 10 days outside of her trading account. when you hear her story, you knew it was genuine. And so I was like, one of these days, I'm going to be able to do that. And it was just super inspiring. And as I build a team and I see everyone get lit up, I am so inspired to be the Miss Anne of the next, not generation, but all the people that are going to come behind me because they're super excited. And then recently, at the end of the year, Professor Beard announced more levels. So I thought level 7 was the creme de la creme, but level 8 through 12 is absolutely amazing. So that's a big goal. You see at level 12, you get a one-time reward of $2 million and then a monthly average of $1 million. And people are going for it. And when I say they're going for it, they're going for it. When I first met Miss Anne, through just talking to her over one of our huddles, she was the first person to receive, at least in 2025, a Maybach. Now, I have a little Honda Civic, and it's not new. And so I don't really know about cars or anything like that, but I knew a Maybach was a six-figure luxury car, right? And so when she received it, we saw the pictures. She actually didn't ask Professor Beard. She did not want to bring it home yet because she wanted to have her trading account uh, expand so that she could then buy a new home and then have a parking garage to put this X number thousands of dollars car in that garage. So she actually won it, but she just wanted to get the house. And I hear she's about to purchase that house with all of her trading dollars. So that's just super exciting when you hear her story and when you hear the testimonials of so many other people who were down in their luck, but or made a lot of money, just like the trader lady I told you about who taught trading. And her trading account was amazing. So I'm super excited about in 2026, we're able to pick not the Maybach, but whatever car you would like from 50,000 to $300,000 if you meet level 7 and above. So that's pretty amazing. So people ask, I mean, they think about it, they go, this is too much, or not too much, but it's hard to believe, right? But again, I told you my history is I have friends who do extremely well as traders. I have friends who literally went from an Uber driver to multimillionaire. So people don't believe it. And then they ask, can you withdraw? Because they go to the internet and they go, oh, no one withdrew. I can tell you that is not true. You can withdraw at any time. So what you see on the screen is are the withdrawal fees. So any transaction that you make, they apply a 12% withdrawal fee. If you choose to withdraw earlier before your initial deposit doubles, or any a deposit that you put in doubles, then you will also incur a 20% early withdrawal fee. So that would be 20 plus 12. So that's 32%. However, if you do withdraw after it doubles, then you incur a 12% fee. And so this screen explains a little bit more of that. So as I said, sometimes people don't believe that this could actually be true. I have recently withdrawn some money, and I also wanted to be able to help my friends who wanted to come into this incredible community, but they actually couldn't afford it. So just like my friend said, here, pay me back, right? I withdrew, and then I was able to bless someone with $500, or several people actually. And so I know that I can withdraw. I had the money. I just chose to sponsor some other people. But on the screen, what you'll see is that, again, some people think it's not true. And that's not. The person who invited me and several people that I've now befriended because I helped with Zooms and I helped with training people. I know that they actually withdrew. This is one particular team member, and you can see all of the withdrawals just from, I believe it is November to early January. People are withdrawing all the time. So you saw all the information, and I looked at all of these things. I went to many presentations. I asked a ton of questions, and then I thought to myself, do I really want to do this? And again, my friend, she gave me the $500, but I was going to do it. I just wasn't going to do it right then and there. And I also thought to myself, I go to the pharmacy, I go to the grocery store, and I intend on spending maybe 50, and I end up spending what, $200. And I thought to myself, what if I ended up, if I'm right about this, and I can actually accrue 1.3, 1.25 per day, where could I do something like that? I'm already spending it on the Haagen-Dazs that I ate. It's on my hips instead of in my account. So, you know what? Let's make a chance, right? Let's take it. I was already gonna go, and then my friend was so kind and she gave me the $500 and then I invested it. And so you could see on the figures what a family of four who eats out every single once a month, they spend up to $800 to $1,200. That's a lot of money. So you just ate it in your tummy, which we all know you have to eat and you have to sustain yourself and your health. But if you took $500, you could do more. Where would that lead you if you were right? If you were right, you could make, oh my God, astronomical money. And if you were wrong, well, you just saved yourself for some Haagen-Dazs and pizza, right? So this screen shows how well we've done in terms of profit. Year end of 2025, BG reported for 2025 a net profit of over $100 million. And the circle graph shows you where it distributed in terms of bonuses for its departments from its brokerage team, its marketing department, its operations team. And the last bar graph that you'll see, it shows you that Indonesia and then the United States, where they rank in terms of the number of BG partners and members. So Indonesia is strong, but US, we're coming strong. And last year, Professor Beard decided that he was going to invest $30 million into the US. So he's going to be having a headquarters in Colorado. He's investing in having people open their own BG offices. And so it's really exciting right now. I have a team member who just opened up a Jackson, Mississippi, office just a few weeks ago. And so shout out to him doing a great job. And so it's so exciting what we have here. And as you see on screen, this is our first actual BG annual event in Las Vegas. I think that was in November. I wasn't able to make it in the US. There was a lot going on with the planes and traffic control. But in this room is about excuse me, 1,000 people. And so they're so excited because they're making money that they came from across the world. And so next year I will definitely be there. So I'm going to share with you a couple other things, and then we'll see whether you want to create your own BG story. So I told you about the compound calculator, and I told you about the bond chat, and I told you about the account. So I'm going to just share my screen really quickly to see so that you can experience what I experienced when I couldn't even sleep at night about how much my little $500 could turn into so much more. So bear with me for a few more minutes. Okay. So you'll see on the screen the compound calculator, which we can share with you. So if I were to deposit $500, which I did, they actually give you $25, which I share with you. But on the conservative end, if I'm actually receiving 1.25 per day, right? I told you it doubles. So when you put in, excuse me, 2 months, 500 turns into over 1,000. That's assuming you're copying and pasting. So I want you to know if you don't copy and paste, you just don't make additional money. But if you were doing it twice a day, you could double your income in 60 days. What happens in 4 days, 4 months, excuse me? 2,000, 2,200. And it just keeps doubling and doubling. But the beauty of compound interest, okay, let's move to 12 months. That $500 went from 500 again to 46,000. Now, what happens if you do 18 months? $449,000. That's why I decided to join, really, because I could make up for lost time, for things that I lost I'm not 20 anymore. So if I was right about this, this would be phenomenal. If I was wrong, again, It's just avoiding eating less pizza, and I eat pretty well. So I'm not even sharing with you if you added the team rewards. Remember when I said if you're level one or level two, they give you certain amount of rewards, a one-time bonus, and then every 10 days on the 9th, 19th, and the 29th, you'll get another reward or what we call an income. So I'm not even saying add that to the compound calculator. This is just you don't share, you just put in your 500, you copy and paste every day, and you could possibly, no guarantee, make $449,000 in 12 or 18 months. So if you can see with the compound calculator, you see how the numbers just exponentially get better. And around that 16th month, or really that 13th month, it went from 46 to 67 because it's doubling every 60 days. So you can see why after 18 months, it's just phenomenal. And then remember that third signal? Oh my goodness. If you think this gets better, this is good, it gets better. And as one of my friends would say, it gets gooder and gooder. So if you put in the 1.88, oh my goodness, I told you it triples every 60 days. So let's go back to the videotape. Okay, what did it do? It tripled 500, 1,500. Could do this all day long. So you can see why people are going towards that third signal. For what did I say? 30 people on your team, five people who could share with their mother, their brother, their husband, their spouse, their good friend. Five people, and altogether 30. To get the 1.8 and above signal, that's freaking phenomenal. And if I actually put in the 18 months or the 24 months, you wouldn't even believe me. So we're all going after the third signal on my team. And again, you don't have to share as passive income, it's copying and pasting. But for those who really want that income, the third signal is the way to go. So let me show you my account. Okay. Actually, I'm going to stop that share. I'm going to share another screen and show you how quick it goes. Quick share the bond chat really quickly. So you download bond chat and all 500 members on bond chat. Everyone's saying, hello, I'm so happy. I just made $2. I made $5. It's so amazing. And then Professor Beard at 1:30 and 7:30 drops his code. And so he would drop a code, drop a picture of the trade, and then he would drop a numerical code. It has letters and numbers. And uh, for time purposes, I'm not going to show that to you. But basically, this is actually the bond chat, and you'll see there's a ton of people. They're happy. They're sharing. Uh, they're so excited. I get because they make so much money. They have opportunities they would never have in certain countries, even in the US. So you would go in here, he would drop the code, you copy it. Let's just say if there was a code here, you would copy it, then you would go over to what I'm going to share with you is my account really quickly. You would share it, you would log in on your phone or any device. You would go, let's see if I can go to home on the screen. So it's a little bit different on your phone, but you would go to your home screen, you would go to futures. Okay. Then you would go to invited me, which you can't really see on this screen. I have something blocking my screen so I can't see it as well. But here we go. Yeah. You would then go from BondJack, copy, flip over to your the DSJ on your account, which you can access in your browser, or you can do a shortcut on your phone. You would right click, hit paste, and then there's a confirm button. Then you would go over to position order. It would say pending, and then in 20 minutes, the trade would go through. We'd figure out whether we won or not. You can look at your historical orders. I can show you, but for time purposes, I'm going to shorten this. It gives you all the information on the trades, and then boom, you go about your day. 30 seconds twice a day. And for the people going after the third signal, that they would also get that at 8 o'clock p.m. And then also when you share with people, you get six bonus signals for about 2 days. And I can share that with you if you would like more information. But you get additional signals as well. So you can have up to 7 signals per day, depending if you're sharing with someone. So it's really exciting, super, super exciting. So without further ado, I am going to go back to sharing my other screen. And actually, I will keep it here. And I'm actually going to open it up for questions. So if you have any questions, please unmute yourself and ask the first question. You can look at the bottom of your Zoom and you can unmute yourself. Can you unmute yourself? I'm going to stop share. Okay. I am having a little bit of a technical difficulty, so I cannot hear you, but not a problem. So if you are asking a question, I'm sorry that I can't respond right now because I can't hear you, but sometimes we have technical difficulties. So if you are interested, definitely get back to the person who invited you. If that's me, shoot me a text or email, and I can definitely support you with that. And so thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate you. And whatever you choose, may you stay blessed and healthy out there. Okay? So thank you so much and have a great evening.